Hey guys, so promised you a comic book haul. Excuse the voice because it's smoky today. So it if you go outside at all, you end up with a bit of a rough voice. But anyways, so I did go to the comic book store last week, and also I picked up a couple things on eBay. I actually only bid on one thing, but they sent me some free stuff. So, that was nice. I'm probably trying to just get rid of kind of filler issues here or there. But let's take a look and see what was in the safer, at least. And this was after probably about 3 to 4 weeks, realistically. Or at least it felt like that, you know. So, first issue here we have is Supergirl, One Woman of Tomorrow, issue number 3. This is a miniseries by Tom King, and I don't recognize the name of the artist. It's Evely is the last name, but it's not. It doesn't strike me as being anybody that I've heard of. So I don't know if he's done other things that were well known. I didn't personally recognize the name, but the first issue was interesting. So, and hold on a second. Okay, sorry, I had to cuss at the cat because when I start filming, she decides that it's a great time to jump on the table or start biting me because I'm sitting somewhere, and why would I need to be doing that? So, anyways, sheesh. Next one is Hellboy, Secret of the Chess Bro House, number 2 of 2. I like these little Hellboy minis they've been doing now that BPRD is wrapped up. You know, Mike Mignola is just kind of throwing stuff out there when he feels like it, I guess. And they're all normally like 2 to 3 issues at the most. Nothing really drawn out, so it's just easy in and out storytelling. And since BPRD is wrapped, he can basically do any time period in any filler story that he wants. So these are always worth the pickup. We have Daredevil number 33, still by Chip Zdarsky. I'll be interested to see how much longer he has on this, since it has been almost a full 3-year run on the book, if this really is monthly. Issue 33, so 3 years would be issue 36. Marvel just seems to love doing number 1 issues so much that getting a prolonged run seems like it's harder and harder to do. But his Daredevil's been legit and interesting the entire way through, so hopefully he gets to stay on a little bit longer. They had Bendis for the longest time, and then Brubaker and Mark Waid did great runs, but then they always had those little runs in between that were not so good. Like Andy Diggle was on there for a while, and Charles Soule's run was rather blah. But Chip Zdarsky's been holding it down here. So we have Batman, Catwoman number 6. I just mentioned on the last video I wasn't sure where the rest of this miniseries was, and then I ended up looking up online and finding out that they had taken a 2 or 3 month hiatus between issue 5 and 6. So hopefully it's back on schedule now. Of course, this is the character from Mask of the Phantasm for those Batman in the Animated Series fans. I have not started reading this. I'm kind of waiting on it so I can read it all at once. So hopefully it'll be a good read. Tom King's Batman I thought was great the entire way through. So I even liked it more than the Snyder his reputation based on that Batman run. And, don't get me wrong, I didn't dislike it, but I thought Tom King's run was a lot more cerebral and grounded than some of Snyder's stuff, because he kind of, especially with all that metal junk that they did later, his stuff kind of goes a little crazy sometimes. We got Moon Knight number 2. So this is a new series. I read the first issue already just to see if it was any good, because I didn't. Moon Knight's like a guilty pleasure for me. It's obviously like a D-list character most of the time, but with the Disney Plus series coming out at some point, obviously they want people to be paying attention. So the first issue was interesting enough. Kind of played up his supernatural beginnings. At first he was showed up in an issue of, was it Blade or Tomb of Dracula originally, and this had him fighting, werewolves and vampires and all sorts of more, supernatural stuff. So that was interesting to see. Not something you normally get from Moon Knight, so it'll be interesting to see where they go with that. Next up we have Rorschach issue 11. If you haven't been reading this, I very much would suggest picking it up. It's been very interesting and very well written. I wonder if that's a mark on the comic or if it's part of the artwork there. But anyways, I believe this is 12 issues. It's another Tom King miniseries, which, what is it, like half of my pickups were Tom King miniseries so far. Yeah. So, this one will probably be finishing up next issue unless I'm wrong about the number of issues. And then I will be getting less comics in general, because honestly the only DC I'm picking up, like legitimately the only DC I'm picking up, are Tom King miniseries. I don't like the for a while there I was picking up Batman and Superman just no matter what. But then, Tom King moved on. They moved the team from Detective Comics off and put some new guys on there, and I already didn't like Tinian on Batman. And then with Superman, they had that long kind of hit or miss Bendis run, which finally wrapped, and then they gave it to some guy I'd never heard of. Any kind of just, from what I've seen, it struck me as very 90s Superman. Just, pump Superman out. Boom, 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 here's Superman. You guys want Superman, right? Here, buy some Superman. So, and now they have Jonathan Kent, Superboy, taking over as Superman. Yes, thank you. We all want to hear your motorcycle and your music at the same time. Just a hint for anybody who doesn't know, when you're on the motorcycle with the helmet, you can't hear that music. So those guys are just jerks. I have a motorcycle myself, and I don't even think I would be able to hear like music in headphones unless I was trying to deafen myself. So these guys who have the full-on helmet on, not like the skull cap, and have the music going, are just noise polluting jackwads. Ridiculous. But so yeah, all of my current pickups are basically Tom King miniseries or very select Marvel titles at this point. And if Tom King stops doing DC miniseries, I won't know what's going on in the DC universe, I'll tell you the truth. If Jeff Johns ever gets around to doing another series, which it seems like he was, working up to with the Doomsday Clock mini, and then, what happened with that? Nothing has come of that since they did it, so I don't know. I keep waiting for him to do JSA again, and it's not happening, so the eBay pickups, and I'll just show you what he sent in for free first. So this is the Invincible Iron Man number 69. I'm pretty sure I have this issue. Not totally, like, 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure I have the Manhunt storyline. Just kind of fun, early 2000s Iron Man stuff. Nothing to write home about, but entertaining at least. I do find this finger, like, it almost looks like he got crochet on his fingers, doesn't it? Like this, at first I didn't notice this was part of his finger. I thought that was a weird thing on his chest, but it's the finger grips, I guess. But, interesting enough. He also sent me this Batman Shadow of the Bat number 8. By Alan Grant and Tim Sale. So it'll be interesting to see the Tim Sale art at least. Pretty sure I don't have this. I can, like I said, it just seemed to be randomly thrown in, and for a while there, in the 90s, DC was printing so much Batman and Superman that you could probably read a different Batman and Superman comic book every day of the week. And they'd all be new, because that's just how much Batman and Superman DC was printing. Next up, he sent me Sgt Rock number 339. This cover looks very, like I want to say this is a famous cover, but when you get up to issue 339 of Sgt Rock, maybe this is a homage to the original. I mean, it is Gilbert, but maybe, maybe the original was, I don't know. It just struck me as, I knew this image, but I couldn't have told you if it was really a blockbuster or expensive issue or what. So, interesting to have that. I'll take a look and see what it is. And Joe Gilbert is the dad, so it's not Andy and I forget the other kid's name. The Guberts. But so that was another free one, and the only one I purchased from eBay and actually was bidding on was this issue of Tales of Suspense, issue 80, back when it was 12 cents. I don't know what year this is, but it's the Captain America Red Skull, and Red Skull has the Cosmic Cube, and I saw this on another, I think I saw it on the website for my local comic book store, and they had a graded copy that was on their Facebook and their Instagram. They've been having sales of graded copies, and they're all freaking nuts. Just like, I mean, it'll be like an issue from 2 years ago, and they've got it graded, and they want like $1,600. I ain't even looking there. What I do is if I see something and I find it interesting, I go find a reasonable seller and I purchase it there. So, this is not going to be graded. This is not a pristine copy or any stretch of the imagination. It's got cracks and stuff, and it's probably rather old because it's 12 cents. But, I thought just to have this issue with Captain America fighting Red Skull with the Cosmic Cube, that's just such a classic, especially with the Avengers movies. It's just such a classic, like, fighting idea here. So I thought I'd pick that up, and I believe this is, to me, it looks like it's Jack Kirby art. I don't know, this hand to me just kind of screams Jack Kirby. It may or may not be. I don't see a signature anywhere on the front. But I mean, this is probably about the era that he would have been on those books. So that was my pickups for this week. About 6 current issues, and then what should have been 1 old issue that turned into 4. Like I said, I'm trying to cut down. This is the first issue off eBay I've bought in probably a few months at least. room that have two short boxes that I think I've read half of one box. If my memory serves me right, and it might not, I might have backfilled that box since then. So, I am not without reading material. It's just finding the time, and also once you stop buying stuff on a weekly basis, it's amazing how much extra money you have. I don't think I've had this much money in my savings account ever in my entire life. And it's simply because I'm not spending, $60 a week at the comic book store. So it's, you realize after a while that, hey, $60 a week is, $240 a month. And if you put that money away, you are doing okay for yourself. So that was it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Go find yourself some cool looking covers or some decent prices there, and don't overpay just because it's